Welcome back to the Manager. Today's episode is especially exciting because it officially kicks off our month-long series, Manage Your Health. And honestly, I can't think of a better guest to begin this conversation with, because if there's one thing we're finally starting to realize as women, it's this. Your health is not separate from your leadership. Your energy affects your family. Your hormones affect your focus. Your nervous system affects your business. Your body affects everything. And for far too long, women have been taught to normalize exhaustion, burnout, brain fog, hormone dysfunction, and depletion as just part of life. Today's guest is challenging that entire narrative. I'm sitting down with Tara Turnure, founder of BeautyDrip, a luxury peptide and wellness company focused on personalized protocols, physician oversight, and helping women feel like themselves again. But what I love the most about Tara's story is that this business wasn't born from theory, it was born from lived experience. After becoming a mother of twins at 35, Tara found herself facing the same thing that so many women quietly experience: a body that no longer responded the same way, energy that felt different, hormones shifting, and realizing that the old rules just weren't working anymore. And instead of accepting decline as inevitable, she started asking deeper questions about longevity, about hormones, about metabolic health, about optimization, about what it actually means for women to feel good in their bodies again. And what came out of that journey became BeautyDrip. In today's conversation, we talk about the identity shift that happens in motherhood, why women are chronically undersupported in health and leadership, the truth about burnout and invisible labor, peptides, GLP-1s, hormones, and wellness done responsibly, how AI is helping modern women reclaim time and capacity, and why taking ownership of your health may be one of the most powerful leadership decisions you ever make. Because here's the truth: you cannot sustainably manage a business, a family, a vision, or a life from a chronically depleted body. This conversation is about health, but it's also about power, agency, energy, longevity, and learning to stop abandoning ourselves in the process of caring for everyone else. So let's get into it. Tara, yay!
Hey, girl. Oh my gosh, that was such an amazing intro. I'm like, let's go, girl. This is so exciting. We have
Well,
so much to cover here.
I just was realizing, when with the manage her is like all about all of these things that women manage. And one of the most important things that we manage that really doesn't get a lot of conversation is that we're managing our own health and the health of our families. And our families' health tends to come way above our own. And you see that in so many moms. We care about what our kids are eating and if they're getting enough exercise and drinking enough water. And a lot of times our health kind of goes to the wayside, and moms are so tired and so burnt out. And, you become a mom. Sometimes you feel like you're not even living in your own body anymore, and I know that you felt that way. That's exactly how you were feeling, like super disconnected.
Yes, super.
And so how much of women's health decline do you think is connected to the invisible emotional and mental load that women are carrying every day?
Oh my gosh, you hit the nail on the head. Honestly, I think that there's this shift happening, which thank goodness, where I think women, for a long time were just starting to accept, like, okay, now that I've had kids, one or multiple or whatever, I'm supposed to feel chronically exhausted and just, I'm not really in charge of, like, I shouldn't focus on my own health, my own body, because all of my focus should be on like my kids and my family. And like there's just this like there was starting to become this like new normal where women should just like, well, I already peaked like 5 years ago and it's just like downhill from here. And like this is where we are. And I just want to blow that out of the water because I just hate that whole mentality. I think it's wrong. And I think that women just need to be fully like supported. And what I love about our products at Beauty Drip is like peptides in particular. I mean, it's literally helping heal your body from like the inside out. You're basically optimizing your cells so that like your body can function at its highest capacity. And that's how you really sort of restore your health, your energy levels, reboot your metabolism. And like instead of sort of having this like defeated mentality as a mom, like, oh, I'm just supposed to be chronically exhausted. It's like, no way. Let's like educate women on like how you can really support yourself so that you can show up as the best version of yourself for your family, for your life, for your business, for your husband. Like, I feel like all of these sort of products and all of this sort of like new kind of wellness, longevity awareness kind of trend is so exciting for men and women because it's like encouraging people to have the conversation that they no longer need to feel stuck. Like, and you don't need to feel guilty for like wanting to sort of go on this quest of like feeling like the best version of yourself, you know?
Totally. I was talking to my kids about it, and it's always about, like, everything's maxing now. So it's like, "Oh, he's protein maxing, and he's this maxing and that maxing," and I'm like, I think what we're talking about in the month of June is youth maxing. Like, we're trying to maximize our youth, but we're doing it by basically using signals that signal our bodies to heal, to produce hormones that help our body heal faster, to reduce inflammation using signals. Because, like, these peptides, they're all signals, right? So we're really talking about like optimizing
Yes.
human health through middle age so that we can age better, live longer, and be healthier and have more energy.
Right, and
So,
the
right?
reality is that, I say this all the time, and I know you believe this too because you live such a beautiful, blessed life, and you're so present with your family and all the things that you do. And, we get one life, and we get one body, and it's like, we're so blessed to be, born with these healthy, fully functioning bodies, and then, over time, like, you're exposed to things or you overcome challenges, you do certain things and you make all these decisions along the way. But at the end of the day, it's like we are literally given one life and one body. So, like, why wouldn't you want to optimize what you've been given so you can show up and like be as present and like productive and like highly functioning as possible, because you never know. Like, life is so precious. And I feel like, women, especially, right? Like, once we do all the things and we have all these beautiful babies and build these beautiful businesses, like, you're even more aware of like how difficult it all is for like all the things to be balanced so that it works. And when it works, you want to like optimize it so it like works even better. Like, for me, I'm like, I was just so frustrated after having twins because I was always this like naturally energetic person. I feel like I had, spent my whole career right in front of the camera, like kind of cracking all these codes on how to like tweak my diet for 2 weeks so I could show up and be more energized and look better in a bikini or like on camera. And I had all these like tips and tricks but it was like this constant like hamster wheel thing, right? Where it was like just it was exhausting in and of itself, right? Because you're like, oh, I have to restrict this. I have to go to the gym for this many hours. And then, as you get older, the more you layer in having more kids, having a husband, having a career, you have less time to sort of do all of those things. So I was like having this realization once I had twins at 35, which were my second and third child because my first was Henry. And I was like, all right, I just, can't wait to sort of get my body optimized and I'm going to do all my little tips and tricks and like go to the gym and, eat less carbs or something. And then it just wasn't really working. I felt like my body was stuck. And like normally what it would respond to, like all the cardio, all the caffeine, less carbs, whatever. It's just my body was like, this is not going to fly anymore. And I was so frustrated because I'm like, wait, what? This is so annoying. Why is my body not responding? This stuff used to work, it doesn't now. And so it was COVID and I did this deep dive into functional medicine and started doing all this research about like, really how to optimize my body because I wanted to be like super present with my kids. I was excited to go back to work. I wanted to like get my energy back. I wanted to be able to like throw on my skinny jeans and just show up as the best version of myself because that's like usually how I like to, be present in like life. And I just didn't feel like myself. So I ended up being introduced to our now medical director at BeautyDrip, Dr. Emily Pasick, and she sort of helped me. She introduced me to peptides and she had been prescribing peptides for like over a decade before they were cool. And she was like, all right, it sounds like you have, insulin resistance, or your hormones are out of whack and you just have a lot of inflammation in your body. So I'm going to sort of curate this peptide protocol for you, and it's going to reboot your system from the inside out. And I was like, what? This is feels like too good to be true. Like I've never even heard of this stuff. But I was so desperate because I was just like sick of not feeling like myself and feeling so tired and just chunky. And I was just like, get me out of here. It started to work like immediately. Like I just immediately started to get my energy back. I was, losing my baby weight. I was like, wanting to participate in my life more and like be social and like just show up better. And I had this light bulb moment and, started doing more and more research about like how incredibly effective peptides can be when they're sourced from the right place and they're physician guided and you're really customizing your dosing protocol. So I had this light bulb moment like, okay, I need to start a brand and like business and like bringing these to life in a very luxurious, elevated way so that people feel inspired and educated and they're not afraid to admit. Because, when I launched Beauty Drip in July of 2024, GLP-1s were still kind of like taboo, like so many people were taking them, but nobody wanted to admit it. Because, and I don't blame them. If you watch an Ozempic commercial, that's not inspiring. And nobody wants to be like the person on the Ozempic commercial. So I'm like, let's create something that's lovely and inspiring so that people aren't afraid to admit that they're taking a GLP-1. They're excited to say, oh my gosh, I'm loving Beauty Drip. I feel so incredibly supported. I know exactly what to do. I have this customized dosing protocol and I feel super supported by their whole medical staff that I just want to tell all my friends and family because I feel so incredible. And that's really how Beauty Drip has grown from its origin, which has just been really exciting to watch.
Yeah, well, I'm just so excited that Kayla Hori introduced us because
I
it
know.
was the perfect time for me because I'm post baby. I have my 3-year-old, and you guys put me on a protocol of tirzepatide and sermorelin, also the beauty mints
Ye-
at bedtime.
Yes, girl.
And I have to say, man, I feel so good. I really, really do. And I feel supported and I feel safe. That's like the big thing. Cause I think so many times peptides are so cool, but they're around and they're around in like kind of a sketchy way right now where you're kind of yes, they're around, they're available, but you're not really like, where did these come from? Did
Yeah.
somebody make them in their bathtub? Are they contaminated? That kind of thing. And then also like, okay, like I get a vial full of powder, like what do I do with it? Like how much water do you add to it? Like how much do you take? When do you take it? So, there's this like sketchy DIY element to peptides right now. And like I
And
don't
that is
want
not Beauty Drip, by the
and that
way.
is
That is
not Beauty Drip. Beauty Drip, it comes to you, it comes from a pharmacy, it's got a compounding pharmacy label on it, it has directions, it's already got the right amount of water in it. You know exactly how to pull it comes with the syringes, it comes with
yes, we're not
everything you need.
lyophilized, that's what that's called,
Yeah.
lyophilized peptides, which I think that's crazy. Like, if you're expecting people that have 0 background in, like, pharmaceuticals, medicine to, like, mix product and then inject it into themselves, I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing that. So, I just that's a no. I was like, "We're not doing that." I'm sure because you're an entrepreneur and you've done so many different cool and exciting things. But, when you first bring anything to life, right? Like your closest friends and families are your customers. So when I was bringing Beauty Drip to life, I did so much research about like the highest quality peptide protocols and sourcing them from the most accredited, safe, stringent compound pharmacy in the country. And I had to beg them to be my client, like, bring me on as a, client because I didn't have the volume. Like, normally I just was the squeaky wheel and was like, "No, but Beauty Drip is gonna be huge and, like, please, like, take my business," even though because most of these compound pharmacies, they want you to, like, hit certain minimums before they, like, agree to a partnership, and I just was totally the squeaky wheel, and I got them to work with us because I was like, I am not going to be selling this stuff unless I am so, so confident in like what it is, where we're getting it, and that it's incredibly safe and effective because all the people taking this at the beginning, especially were like my entire family, all of my best friends, and I wouldn't have been able to sleep at night if it was anything other than the absolute best. And I was also my own customer. I still take all of our Beauty Drip products and I will never not take them until something else better comes on the market. And we're just at the forefront of researching everything that's coming into this space. It's just such an exciting and innovative time in longevity and wellness. And I feel bad for previous generations of women that didn't have access to these products because I now know what it feels like to be a mom and an entrepreneur without peptides, and there's no way in hell I would ever want to go back to what that felt like because I just felt so depleted, so low energy. It was just this constant cycle of feel like I was trying to get caught up. And now I feel like my body feels fully supported, from the inside out. I have all my natural energy and more. I mean, I think you've taken, or I don't know if you've taken, but one of my favorite products that we offer that honestly I say is every mom on planet Earth should be taking this is our Renew product. It's the NAD peptide, which literally, it's not only is it reverse aging, but NAD is that peptide molecule that signals cell regeneration. So it helps every functionality in your body be more efficient and more effective. And everybody has NAD in their body, but as we get older, like so many things, those stores get depleted. So if you take NAD the right way, and titrate up in a conservative fashion. Cause, a lot of people talk about getting these NAD drips and having these horrible experiences, right? They feel sick or yeah, I think we talked about this. And I am yeah, no. You don't need to do that. You just need to microdose it, but in an effective way. And then you kind of work your way up to whatever your max dose is. It's physician guided with our medical team. And then, you're basically replenishing your NAD stores. So you have your natural energy and your body's optimized. So I just feel like women and moms in particular should all be taking our Renew, our NAD product, because it just gives you the restoration that we all need after giving our bodies and our mind and our energy and everything to taking care of little humans.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I understand there's some big changes coming in July, that there was some sort of executive order that was signed in by HHS and the president to allow something like 12 new peptides that
Yeah.
can now be made in compound pharmacies in the US. What's new? What are the hot new and cool things? Even if you need to pull up a list, I want to know what's coming next.
I have it on my radar, girl. I totally know. So in July, there's this basically, there's this category 2 peptides list that the previous administration sort of banned for no really good reason. But that list is being reevaluated by the FDA sort of officially in July. Everyone seems to believe that all those peptides on that list will be initiated onto an approved FDA approved list in July because all the research shows that they are incredibly safe and very effective. Some of my favorites on that list is MOTS-C. At BeautyDrip, I've sort of come up with this white label name for all of our products just to kind of add to the luxury branding experience and just make it cute and catchy. But the MOTS-C we're going to call cardio because it basically gives your body the benefits of doing cardio. It elevates your heart rate in a way where you get sort of the heart health benefits and your body feels the effects as if you worked out, which is kind of crazy because we all know it's very healthy to do cardio and work out. It also burns fat and helps you sleep better at night. There's all these amazing benefits. But another one that's everyone has been begging for because we actually had it on our website initially when Beauty Drip launched, because when I first started this, I was doing so much research, but I thought I knew everything, but I definitely didn't. And I've been a work in progress. So I launched with what I was so excited about. It's called the Barbie peptide. It'll be called Glow on Beauty Drip, and it's the melanotan 2, which actually makes you tan. It, like,
So
gives
that was
you
wild.
this, which is totally wild, and I've experimented with it last summer, and it really works, and it also kind of curbs your appetite and burns fat. That's why it's called, like, kind of the,
I heard it helps with libido also.
Yes, it does help with libido. So that's why it's called the Barbie peptide on, like, the black market or whatever, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so melanotan 2 is coming. That's on the list. That's gonna be, reinstigated to the FDA approval list come July. And then also, so we already have our Beauty Mints, which is the GHK copper peptide known as the beauty peptide that helps with your hair, skin, and nail. And like, I know, girl, your hair looks so good.
It's so
You're
much
like our
better. It
you
needed it so bad. I was losing my hair
I
and it
know.
saved it. Yay.
No, well, like, it's such a great, like, product postpartum, especially when, like, your body is healing and recovering, just restores your, like, hair follicles and just even, like, skin elasticity and, like, helping your skin kind of heal itself and produce collagen and reverse aging and all that stuff. But so the GHK copper is, like, the active peptide in our beauty mints, but instead of it being a self-administered injection, it's called a troche, which is just this mint that dissolves in your mouth, why it's called a beauty mint. But the GHK copper in a self-administered injection form is one of the ones that's on the FDA approval list come July. So we're excited to also be able to have, some people love the fact that they can just put them in their mouth, and then some people want to just be able to do the injection because they don't have to think about it and you don't need to take it every day. But yeah, we're excited to be able to offer like continue curating our like product offering so that it's appealing to as many people as possible. Because my new mission, girl, is I just want everyone, women and moms in particular, but just to feel like the best version of themselves. Because I think it's this like, I always say these are all like gateway products into like living a healthier, happier life. Because like if you look and feel better from the inside out, you just want to do everything better. Like your marriage is better, your relationships are better, you have more energy and like enthusiasm to be present with your family, your kids. You know what I mean?
Your girlfriends, because when
Your
you don't feel
girlfriend?
good, you don't have the energy for that, especially
No.
outside your house. Like, if I don't feel good, I'm good with my kids, like, I can handle the inside the house stuff, but when I start, like, getting inflamed, when I don't feel good, when my clothes don't fit, I don't wanna go out. I don't wanna see
No.
my friends, like, and
I
that then you just start going down, like, the spiral of, like, it's not a good look. It's not healthy for for your well-being.
No.
You're starting to lose your well-being. You're starting to get burnt out. You're burning the candle at too many ends and you're depleted and then you're really not getting to the root cause of it. But can we talk BPC 157 for a minute?
Yes. So that is the most incredible sort of rejuvenation peptide for like people that work out or have any kind of injury. So actually our medical director just had knee surgery because she like blew out her knee, and she was like her recovery was crazy fast because she was utilizing that peptide, and it just expedites healing so much. It's pretty powerful. Yes, that's also on the list of peptides being reapproved. So we're excited to have that as well for sure.
Yay. Are there any of the TBs on the list? Do you know?
I don't know. I should pull it up and have this list. Let me ask
Yeah, pull it up.
because it would be interesting to
I'm
know
curious
all.
because I talked to Dr. Emily Pasick about TB 500, which she says is
Oh,
actually part of like a piece of the peptide
yeah.
of TB4, which is like the real one. So I'm just curious, like where we're at with that one.
And that's what's so exciting about peptides is that, like, there's so many and they all do so many different things. And that's what's also exciting is like, I've also kind of hand selected specific peptides that are safe to stack together, as we say, right? So, like, a lot of our patients start just, wanting to take one product. Like our best-selling product is our GLP-1, our super skinny product, which is compounded trizeptide glycine and B12 that everyone loves because of all the long-term health benefits and the, reducing inflammation and all of that. But like once people, hit their goal and they feel so incredible and they realize just how much better they feel on these products, they're like, okay, well, what else do you have? That's what's so exciting. It's like being able to sort of say, we're just scratching the surface here, right? We have like 11 different peptide protocols on Beauty Drip right now, but like, I mean, we're just starting, girl. We have so many PPC 157, yeah, TB 500, KPV, actually don't know what that is. MOTS, Semax, GHK copper is also being reviewed. I think Semax is like the one that is supposed to replace like antidepressants. So people that take, antidepressants or want like the mood boost. So I feel like that will be a really exciting one for a lot of
It's good
people.
for focus too. I
Yeah.
may or may not be on that one right now. I actually take that before I get on every podcast just because it
No
helps me
way.
focus. Yeah, B12 and C-Max right before I get on the show.
Good for you.
I know. It helps because you gotta stay focused. Like, that,
Yeah.
like, crazy level of, like, focus, making sure you don't, like, lose your spot and don't forget your words. It's really
Yeah,
good for
I
that.
needed that before I got on.
I know, it's one of those ones that I kinda can't live without. I have, like, a pre-podcast peptide kit, and that one's in there, and then I have some amino acids in there. So it's mostly amino acids, B12, and
Nice.
the C-Max.
Yeah, you know what? But don't you kind of feel like it's like this superpower that you like don't have to gatekeep anymore? It's like so exciting.
I love it. Yeah, it's like the secret life of highly interesting women, I feel like if people could just follow me around and see what I really do, but it's so fringy, like it's like such on the fringe of like society because we're kind of ahead of the times. It's like you being like a few years ago, it's like should I really tell people what I'm doing? Because it's kind of like it's a little bit on the gray, and it's not socially acceptable, but I'm constantly trying to optimize everything I do in my house for myself and my kids. Constantly, like what they eat, how they eat, like they might have a smoothie and they're like, it's a smoothie. And I'm like, yeah, there's like 15 to 20 different like superfoods in there. You've got like desiccated animal organ in there. You've got like all kinds
Well, you know what? You got it. Like, it's like we have to be efficient, right? Like you got to pack it in somehow. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's funny. I always like am so confused when people are like afraid to like try peptides or
Yes.
incorporate these like new, they're like we've said a million times already on the show, but I mean, all of these products when done correctly and what I mean when I say that is like they're coming from a compound pharmacy where they're like batch testing everything. Like all of our products literally are made to order. So like it's being batch tested. They're created in a sterile lab. Like these products are highly vetted and like they're adhering to the highest like safety and compliance standards. So they're incredibly safe. And then the second component of that is when they're, you're getting prescribed these products from, a smart, highly educated physician that's customizing your dosing protocol. So all of that combined is what really I think sets Beauty Drip in the way that we're doing things. It sets us apart. And that's what I always say. I'm like 100% believe there is a right way and a wrong way to do peptides. And the right way to do peptides is the way that we do it here at Beauty Drip. And now that, all the research and all the data is there, it's like when these people are skeptical, you're like, all right, well, suit yourself. You can go feel tired and like shit. I'm going to be over here living my best life, having my energy back, being able to do all the things with my kids because I have the energy to show up and do it. I always compare peptides to like Botox when it first hit the market like 20 years ago. It was like you were either in one camp or the other. You were either like, oh yeah, I'm doing this thing because this works and it's totally safe and I'm going to this amazing injector that's not sketchy, that's, I trust, whatever. And I'm going to start to look better. And then there's these people that are like, well, I don't know, like that's kind of fringe or like, we're not really sure about that. And then, they start to look older. And then you're like, well, that sucks that you didn't get on that bandwagon. And I feel like peptides are going to kind of be that way. It's going to be part of people's sort of wellness, longevity, beauty staple. And if like you don't get on the bandwagon, you're going to kind of be left behind with this like chronic fatigue, inflammation, insulin resistance, low energy. And it's like again, we have one life. So let's optimize it?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. My body was hurting so bad, and I was really feeling
Yeah.
old for like the first time in my life, and that's like a horrible feeling,
Or
especially when you can't even sleep because you're in so much your body's just in so much pain. I was in so much inflammation, and to have that inflammation gone and to be able to sleep through the night and not have the pain when I wake up and my body feels good again. I feel happy to be in this body. This body feels fine. I don't have the aches and pains. I can wear my clothes, all the little things that make you, and
well,
then
it makes
plus the
you wanna
energy.
go to the gym, right?
Yes,
Like, when your
yes.
body doesn't hurt, when
Mhm.
you feel better in your workout clothes, like, you want to go and do those things. Just like, you want when you feel good and you have the energy to make healthy, intentional, like, food for your family because, like, you have, like, the brain capacity to even, like, think past taking care of your kids. Like, it's all sort of this, like, trickle effect. So, I mean, even,
Absolutely.
like, my dad, and I can say this because he's given me permission, but, my parents are just turned 70, and it's like my dad was like, "You've literally changed my life." I mean, he lost 40 pounds. My dad played in the NFL for 7 years. He's had both hips replaced, and he literally skis double black diamonds. And he was like, ever since I started taking your peptides, like I could ski like as much as I wanted to because my body wasn't like so inflamed and I wasn't so sore. He's like, and it makes me actually want to work out and like be active and like go skiing, go lift weights at the gym, like be more intentional with what I'm eating because I can really feel the difference. And I know that like all of this, all contributes to how I feel and show up. And also there's so many preventative. There's been so much research, especially lately, about like how literally certain types of GLP-1s prevent cancer, cognitive decline, like with Alzheimer's and dementia. And I like told my parents, my mom is deathly afraid of needles. And I was like, well, you're either going to get over that or I'm going to come over and inject you myself because I want you to live forever. And I also want you to, anything I can do preventative for my parents and the people that I care about the most, like I want them to do it. So like if the research is there and they're going to, look and feel amazing and these products are also going to prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, cardiac disease, cognitive decline, like all of this stuff. Like, and inflammation is like literally the root cause of like every chronic disease. So it's like if you're eliminating all of those risks, to me, it's like a no brainer. I didn't give my parents a choice. They just had to do all of our protocols and they
Yeah.
feel and look amazing. And they're like my most amazing spokesmodels. So
One thing we didn't talk about is the food chatter. How does this work with the constant thinking about what you're gonna eat next thing that we all have in our mind?
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure you can imagine, but as someone who spent my basically entire life as like a model, I used to be that like psycho. I was actually just talking about this yesterday. I saw my girlfriend was like eating a banana, and I literally said, I'm like, you know what's so weird? Is for a really long time, I wouldn't even eat a banana because I thought it had too much sugar and like starch in it. And she was like, are you serious? That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I'm like, no, I know. I used to have, probably eating disorder tendencies, but I used to be so obsessive over everything that I wouldn't put in my body that it was such a distraction and took up like such a big part of my like mental load that I say all these products literally healed my relationship with food because I no longer have this, yeah, like food noise or like impulse with foods, even alcohol. Like I also love what it does. I mean, I think, you can still drink alcohol in moderation. because you learn really quick that if you drink too much alcohol, you feel like extra shit. But I think it's amazing. It like keeps you in check, right? Like you can have like one glass of wine. You don't have this like impulse to like over drink or overeat because it just, and there's studies that say this. There is like this, mental component to taking these peptides that literally reduces that like impulse trigger in your brain for like food, alcohol, I mean, anything. So it's like, I think that also it just makes you feel in control, right? So, like, I can have ice cream with my kids and not beat myself up about it. I used to for years be like, oh my gosh, if I eat that, I'm gonna have to wake up at 5 and like go to the gym. And that's just toxic. Like, nobody wants that. So, like, being freed by this, like, yeah, elimination of food noise or impulse response to food or alcohol is just, I think it's incredibly liberating and empowering. And like I said, I think it's completely healed my relationship with food because I basically now, can eat with intention. There's no like emotion tied to it. And, if I want to have a piece of cake or a glass of wine with my husband or whatever, like you're free to do it. And it's just so amazing because you're also just demonstrating that like healthy relationship with food for your family, which I also think is really important.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I know that for sure. I have a friend who's an addictive medicine specialist, and he's been using GLP-1s in his practice for about 3 or 4 years now, which
No,
is yeah, because it really, really works for people who are struggling, especially with alcohol. It works really, really well to quiet that voice that tells them, "Oh, you really need a drink. You should
makes
probably
sense.
have a drink right now. Well, it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock somewhere." GLP-1s get a lot of bad press, but there's a lot of really good clinical data behind backing these
Yeah.
chemicals, these signals, because they're really not drugs. They don't even pass through your kidneys or your liver or anything. They basically go into your stomach and then they're actually absorbed through your gut. They're not even excreted like a regular drug is.
Well, and
They're
they all already exist in your body.
yes.
They're natural. It's like you're basically we already have GLP-1s in our body, but they're depleted over time. So like we're also just replenishing our cells essentially because yes, like we were saying earlier, I mean peptides essentially from, and I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but I try to act like it sometimes, but literally peptides are signaling molecules to your cells to do certain things. And it's very exciting that like people I think are finally now more open to really hearing, the real data, like you're saying, like the clinical I mean, there's just so much research now, even though there's a lot of people that don't want you to know the truth, but we're here to speak the truth, girl. And we just, there's no gatekeeping here. I don't need to like, yeah, keep all this to myself. I want everyone, like genuinely, I want everyone, men, women, everyone to feel, if they want to, be able to feel and look their best because the fact that we have the accessibility to optimize ourselves from the inside out in an incredibly safe and effective way is like just mind blowing. But it's like, why not? You know?
Why wouldn't you? I mean, we're living in this amazing time where we can actually optimize ourselves really at an epigenetic level because that's really what we're doing with this stuff. I was way ahead of my time with epigenetics when we got started with our first nutraceutical company about 14 years ago. It's just exciting that we're coming into a time now where, we're really starting to understand how all of these signals affect our DNA, turn on our genes, gene expression in a positive way with all of the toxins in our environment that are turning on genes in a negative way. It's one thing we can do that we can take some power back because we have to do something to optimize our bodies when the whole food system, the water, the air, the soil is so polluted that it's like, thank God we have these tools to help us repair our bodies because our bodies are really in need of repair. I mean, our GLP-1s are probably low because of the chemicals that we're being exposed to in our
Exactly.
food.
Yeah, toxic exposure. Yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree. And so it's like this trickle effect, but it's like, if you can get, I feel like if you can get ahead of it or like I feel like you're a step ahead of it, you have this like competitive edge. And like, who doesn't want that?
I do. I've always been
Good
very
girl.
competitive with myself. I always
With my
wanted to be
same.
the best version of me that I could be.
Yes.
Yes.
I always say that about myself. I am very competitive with myself. I think I've always believed that there's room for everybody at the top, girl. Like we all have the ability to be successful if you want. You don't need to push. I don't want to push anything on anybody. People are so sensitive now, so we have to be careful. Um, but I but no, it's like there's room for everyone to do their thing and be successful, but it's like, why wouldn't you wanna optimize yourself so that you can do everything you want more? And that's what's so exciting for, like, this generation of women, right? Is like, there's this, like, huge movement for, female entrepreneurs and, mompreneurs and, like, you can do it all, but you can't do it all at the same time, but you definitely can do it all, but you just have to allocate, the proper resources and like be super organized and diligent with all the things. But now there's all these like kind of life hacks where you can have the energy to do it all, which is so exciting.
Yeah, because you can't do it all if you don't feel good. But
No.
when you feel good, it's amazing how much you can get done.
Oh, I know. Even
Yeah.
my husband's like, I'll like go, I'll go to the gym and I'll, be listening to a podcast and I'll be like all energized. And I literally come home. He can like see me coming from a mile away. He's like, oh, here comes the life pep talk, like with the energy and the list and all the thing, I just get so like amped up on just the fact that like, yes, I have like I feel so optimized and like I want to do all the things and like, time is so precious and life is so precious. So I just want to show up and like do it all with my kids, my husband, my career. And it's just so incredible when you get that, when it all starts to click. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still have a million things that I want to do and figure out. I do not have it all figured out by any means, but I'm always like trying to better myself on a daily basis because I want to sort of just live life to the fullest, right?
I mean, we're here, we might as well do the best we can, right? So I have enjoyed having you on the show so much. If there's one thing I hope that our listeners can take away from today's conversation, it's this: your health matters, not just because of how you look, not just because of productivity, not just because society tells you to bounce back, but because your body is the vehicle through which you experience your entire life. And women deserve to feel good. Women deserve energy. Women deserve clarity. Women deserve support. Women deserve access to information that helps them thrive, not just survive. That's what this entire June series, Manage Your Health, is really about, because managing your health is managing your life. And here at The Manager, we believe that when women reclaim their energy, their voice, their time, and their well being, they become unstoppable. So, Tara, thank you so much for being here and for helping us have this conversation in a more honest, empowered, and informed way. And to everyone listening, if this episode resonated with you, please take a moment to subscribe to The Manager, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, share this episode with another woman who needs to hear it, or drop us a comment on YouTube, because I genuinely want to hear what stood out the most to you from today's conversation. And if you have any questions, we'd love to chime in. We're here. We're real people. We want to know how we can help. You can also follow us on social at The Manager and at Aimee Rickabus. You can learn more about us. Go to our website. Go to themanager.com. I never plug our website. And where can we find you, Tara? Give us all your plugs. Where shall we send them?
Oh my gosh, you're amazing. This was so fun. I feel like we need like part two because we could just go on forever, girl.
Let's do
Uh,
it.
let's do it. You can find me. I'm pretty active on Instagram, me and my Party of Five family. I'm on at Tara Turnure. We have our Instagram. Our beauty drip is at Beauty Drip Co. And then our Beauty Drip website is just www.beautydrip.co. And we have so much information that's hopefully empowering and impactful and educational. But like really my hope for you all is that you can like dive in and feel supported from start to finish if you do decide to go on your own beauty drip journey. We just want that experience for all of our patients and customers, because that's really the point, right? Like we just want all of our patients to feel incredibly supported and get a luxury experience from start to finish so they can just feel optimized from the inside out.
I love it. Thank you so much.
I love you and I love being on your show. You are so incredible at facilitating just meaningful conversation. And I was just like on the edge of my seat wanting to just dive in and have even more conversation with you. So thank you for having me. It was such an incredible experience, and I would love to get invited back.
Yay, thank you. And next week, we're continuing our Manage Your Health series with Dr. Emily Pasick, Chief Medical Officer of BeautyDrip and one of the leading physician educators in the peptide space. We're diving even deeper into peptides, hormones, amino acids, metabolism, energy, longevity, and what women need to know to optimize their health safely and intelligently. So make sure you're subscribed because you are not going to want to miss that conversation.